What is going on, y'all? Gamers Goon here today, and as you can see, today we are on this website right here. It will be linked in the description. But basically, I went and I predicted every single game this season. I'm not going to go all the way up here, but I didn't predict the scores. Like, if you see, it just kind of gets automated with the scores there at that Boise State game. But regardless, this is going to be, at least what this website thinks, the playoffs will be based off of kind of what I expect to see teams finish. So, we're going to look at each conference, and then we will get into our playoffs. I got Clemson winning the ACC, 12 and 1, 100% in the conference. Miami would be second, Syracuse, Duke, SMU, Louisville. I think UNC will have a good year. All going to be in that mid-range. California in there as well. Then we get to the rest of the ACC. Stanford, NCSU, UVA, all bottoming out. So now we are going to get into the SEC. Don't look at the point differential. The point differential is not something I put, like, it just randomized the score. This is just kind of their records that I think they'll have. So we get to Texas. Texas, I have winning the SEC. Their only loss will come to Ohio State in week 1. UGA, I think I had losing to Texas. I think that was one of their losses. But they dropped 2. They ended up dropping 2. Alabama, I think this could be a little bit on the high end. I think they, like, in my head, I think around like 9 wins is probably where they're going to get. But when I was predicting, they ended up being a 10-2 team. Tennessee, same thing. Might be a little bit lower than that. LSU as well. Gonna finish out at 10-3 with 10 wins. Then we get to South Carolina. I think they'll have a good year, but tough SEC. A&M. I don't know if A&M's gonna be this good, but when I was predicting it out, I think they should win 9 games. Ole Miss, same thing there. Missouri, I was kind of shocked. I was going through their schedule. I might be off of the Missouri hype train. Just looking at what I think their record could be, after predicting what their schedule's looking like. Auburn, same thing. I don't know if I'm really in love with that Auburn team. Oklahoma, a team that some people are bullish on. I'm not. I mean, 2-6 in the SEC. Florida, I'm gonna be honest. Florida should have been 5-7. I gave them an extra game. I forget who it was, but it was like one of the last games of the season. I'm like, they're not gonna make a bowl game. And I was like, Florida's gonna make a bowl game. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I don't think this Florida team, 6-6. I think they'll be a bowl team, but it was hard to give them 6 wins. Vandy barely made a bowl. I think it was a similar situation as the Florida. Kentucky, Mississippi State, Arkansas, all teams that I think could potentially have an upset brewing against somebody, but not teams that I think should really be highly regarded heading into the season at the SEC level. Um, Oregon, I think I had their one loss. I think I had them beating Penn State early in the season, and they actually lost the rivalry game to Washington. I think Washington will be a sneaky team this year. And Oregon, Dan Lanning's I think he's 1-3. He lost 2 times his first year. Did he lose with Bo Nix his second year? He obviously won. I think he's either 1-3 or 2-2. Either way, Washington's had a number on Dan Lanning in the past, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful if you're Dan Lanning. Ohio State, I had them being undefeated. I think it's hard to pick against Ohio State, man. Like, that Penn State game is a tricky one. They have a couple tricky games, but I still think they're favorites to win it. Illinois, I think obviously Ohio State was one of their losses. I think I gave them a USC loss as well. Penn State, 10-2. Your big losses, Ohio State and Oregon there. USC, I think will have a solid year. I did take them in a decent bit. Iowa, I think, will probably be around this range. I think they'll be one of the better Big Ten teams. Defensively, will be really, really good. Indiana, it was hard to give them 8 wins, to be honest with you. There were some games that they were like 50-50. I gave Indiana, all because of respect for Curt Cignetti and what they did last year. I don't know if I'm really believing that 8-4, though. Wisconsin, Washington, UCLA. UCLA, surprisingly, I think they might actually have like a solid season. Schedule's not super tough. DJ, or not, I keep doing this with them, man. I keep thinking of DJ Wangale. I don't know why, but I keep thinking of him. It is Nico Amaliava being the QB for UCLA. I think he will have a solid season. Michigan, Bryce Underwood. I think they'll probably be around that range. Should be a bowl team. Minnesota barely making a bowl. Nebraska, Maryland, Rutgers. Teams that could potentially make a bowl. I just picked against them. And the bottom guys. Michigan State could maybe be better. Childs is somebody I like. Jonathan Smith's a good coach there. I just don't really love their schedule and who they're going up against. Big 12 play. I got Arizona State winning. BYU and Arizona State, I think, was the matchup. And we'll go up. And because it's on conference championship week, we'll talk about the conference championships and why I picked a certain way. But ASU and BYU, the two teams there. Colorado, I think, will have a good year as well. Iowa State, a team I really like, Rocco Becht. Can't see them getting much higher than 10 wins. Texas Tech, I think, will have a solid year. Don't love them, but I do think they'll be solid. Utah, I think it's a bounce-back year for them. Oklahoma State, I think they had like a kind of a somewhat easy schedule, so I did take them in a lot of their games. Don't love this Oklahoma State team, though. But they're always tricky. They could be tricky. Kansas State, like the QB there. Could be better than 8-4, but that's where we have them finishing. Kansas, a team that was popular last year, fell off, didn't do anything last year, but was a team that came into the year with a lot of hype. I think you'll see closer to that team. I still think there'll be some of the flaws from last year's team, but I think you'll see more highs out of that Kansas team. UCF barely making a bowl game. TCU, a team that was kind of in that in around the top 25 talks. And I think it was the USA Today's top 25. I don't love the TCU team. Baylor, not very high on. Houston, not very high on. Cincinnati, not very high on. Arizona, I feel bad for Arizona because I am a big fan of Noah Fafita, the QB, but they don't have Ted McMillan. I don't really buy into that Arizona team as much. And West Virginia as well. Pac-12, yeah. There's two teams. I'm not sure. Is this the first year the Pac-12? The Pac-12 might be adding like Fresno and them this year. I don't know if they are. I think that might be the year after. But as of right now, Washington State's winning the Pac-12. Independence, Notre Dame, one loss. I forget who that was to, but one loss there. UConn, not great. AAC, I really like this Memphis team, and this is where I don't think the predictor had Memphis as a playoff team, so I might make some adjustments to the. I don't know that I can technically make adjustments to what the system says, but I will tell you this team will be replaced by Memphis. Memphis will be in the playoffs if they're 12-1. Tulane, I think, will have a solid season. I always got a pick from my North Texas boys. One of the colleges that I was interested in attending, I didn't almost go to, once Oregon was like, yeah, I already knew. But North Texas was a college that I was looking at one point. Always going to pick for them. Always going to root for them. Navy. Service schools, I always seem to have a favorable opinion on them. Army, same thing. UAB, Temple, USF, all going to be bowl teams. And then you get to everybody else. Charlotte might be able to squeak out a bowl game. Not high on anybody else here, though. Then we get to the MAC. The MAC, So this could be like spoiled in week 1, but I think Buffalo like runs through the MAC. Like they're getting some top 25 buzz, especially like the USA Today, and there's some legitimate buzz that this Buffalo team could be solid. They do play Minnesota. They do play Minnesota their very first game of the season. I don't love the Minnesota team. But it's a team that, if they show up, could beat Buffalo. I gave Buffalo the edge because I really want to see this Buffalo team make the playoffs. And I don't know if a 12-1 Buffalo team does. I think a 12-1 Memphis does. I don't know about Buffalo. We're gonna make Buffalo undefeated. We're gonna have them beat Minnesota. I really like that Buffalo team. Toledo, I think, is going to have a solid year. NIU, big win last year, build off of it. Get to 8-4, bowl eligible. Western Michigan in there as well. A group here. I don't love this. I don't even know how I got Akron to 5 wins, to be honest with you. I really don't. Kent State, I think their over-under on the season was like 3.5 on the odds. So that's right about where you'd expect them. These two, I would expect to maybe push for a bowl game. Ball State maybe could squeak out something. Eastern Michigan, same thing. Don't expect much out of this group, though. Maybe a 4 or 5 wins is about what they could get. Massachusetts, I think maybe 3 or 4 at most. Bowling Green could be interesting. I don't know. They don't have Harold Fannin, though, so I don't know what to expect out of Bowling Green. I just didn't do enough research on Bowling Green to give them enough love. Conference USA, we got Liberty going 11-2. I don't think an 11-2 Liberty team makes the playoffs. Western Kentucky, a team I like here, 10-2. Middle Tennessee State, I like this season, 10-2. Louisiana Tech, 10-3. UTEP will be I think they have Malachi Nelson as their QB as well. They will be a bowl team. FIU barely made it out, but they're going to be a bowl team. Don't be surprised if Sam Houston gets into the bowl talk. Don't know what to expect out of Delaware, or I think that's Missouri State. I don't know what to expect out of like this group. I don't have big hopes for any of these guys. Sam Houston, I think if there's somebody in this group here, I think this will be like the bottom half of the league. If there's somebody in it, maybe Sam Houston. We get to the Mountain West. I think this is like the last year of the Mountain West being the Mountain West because like Boise, Fresno, all of them are joining. Boise, they have a loss. I think it's to Notre Dame. I think that's one of their games. They do have a loss, though. They won't go undefeated. They'll be similar to last year. They will be in the playoffs if they are 12-1. UNLV, a team I really like going into this season, has some top 25 buzz to them as well. I have them at 9-3. Colorado State, I like Braden Fowler and Kolsky. Their quarterback, we'll see what they can do there. Utah State, I think will be solid. Fresno, I think, is usually pretty solid. San Diego State, I expect to be pretty solid. Air Force, I think, could be solid. San Jose State could be solid. Then you got Nevada, Wyoming, New Mexico, teams I don't really think much of. And then Hawaii could maybe squeak out a bowl game if they're lucky. When we get to the Sun Belt, we have App State. 12-1. That might be enough for a playoffs. JMU is going to be solid this year. Coastal Carolina is going to be solid. I think Marshall will be surprisingly solid. The bottom half is going to be bad. I don't expect much out of the bottom half. But the top 4, I think, will be pretty solid. Here in the East, then you got Troy, who I like. I think Texas State's going to be solid. I don't think UL Monroe is an easy game for many people. I know I don't have them as a bowl team, but I think Louisiana is another solid opponent. I think Southern Miss is a solid opponent. I think Southern Alabama is a solid opponent. I think this is a conference with depth, not necessarily stars, but depth. So if a team like App State can go in here and beat a couple, they're not beating like Ohio State, right? Like they're beating teams that might be like top 50, top 75 teams in college football consistently. I think maybe App State could get a nod. So, with that being said, according to this, which I don't fully agree with, this is your playoffs. Ohio State at the 1, Clemson at the 2, Texas, Arizona State, Buffalo, Oregon, Notre Dame, and then this group right here, I think, because we were talking about the conferences. I think here is where you'd see maybe. I don't think you get. I don't think you'd get like an Oregon State out of there. I think Memphis would be stealing a spot here. Boise would be stealing a spot here, and then App State could be stealing a spot. So we got 3 spots up for grabs. So we're gonna come here and try to figure out which teams. Illinois, you have their losses being USC um, and Ohio State, 2 solid opponents. UGA, Bama. I think one of the SEC teams for sure needs to get knocked out, maybe 2, and then so we're gonna take out Tennessee. So Tennessee, I can't take them out necessarily on this website, but Tennessee we're gonna replace with Memphis. Or no, wait, we're gonna replace Tennessee with App State. So App State's gonna be our 12th seed. Then we got Memphis. We got Memphis, a team we got to get in there, and then we got, because I don't think Liberty makes it. So we need to make Memphis and Boise in there. I do think Boise would be higher rated than Memphis. So so App State's are 12. I don't remember who I have winning the Georgia-Alabama head-to-head. Probably Georgia. I'm going to knock Bama out. And give the 11th seed to Memphis. How many Big Ten teams we got in here? 1, 2. Yeah, they're going to leave Illinois in there for 3. SEC, 1. I think Georgia's got to be in there. Do they knock out of Miami? We're going to knock out Miami at the 8th seed, and that's going to be Boise State. So Boise State will be the 8th seed, 11th seed Memphis, 12th seed App State. So here is our playoff bracket. I don't know if we can pick on the bracket. Can we? Yeah, we can. Okay, so the 8th seed we talked about is Boise State against Illinois. I do like Illinois over Boise State. We're going to take Illinois. The 12th seed is App State going up against Buffalo. I think Buffalo would probably be rated lower than 5, but this is where the committee, or at least the website, puts them. Either way, I think I take App State over Buffalo. Remember, that's App State, not Tennessee. Then after that, sorry, I got a text. After that, we got Georgia, who is actually Georgia going up against Notre Dame. I think Georgia wins that game. I do. This is Memphis versus Oregon. We're taking Oregon there. So Memphis eliminated, Boise eliminated, and App State still going. So App State's the only team left. So the 12th seed is App State. App State going up against Arizona State. Arizona State wins. Georgia going up against Clemson. I got to give it to Clemson. Cade Klubnik and company. Oregon versus Texas. As much as I want to be a homer, I got to give the edge to Texas. Ohio State versus Illinois. As much as I want to be a homer, got to give it to Ohio State there. We got to go Ohio State over Arizona State. We got to go Texas over Clemson. A finale. The same way we started the season. Ohio State versus Texas. I have Ohio State winning the first one. I'm going to give it to Texas. So we have Texas as our national champions as of this recording. Let me know down below what you think the 12 playoff teams will be. Like I said, App State, Memphis, and Boise all would replace teams that are on this website, like, because this website's just going to pick, like, the SEC because they're, like, strength of schedule, right? But, like, one of those teams, or potentially all three of them if they're one-loss teams, will make it into the playoffs. So there you have it. There is my college football playoffs predictions before the season starts. We are only 18 days away from kickoff. The videos will keep on coming at you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.